Carlos Adames has an opportunity to stake his claim in the middleweight division as he faces Hamza Sheeraz on Saturday, February 22nd on the undercard of Ppv versus Bivol. It'll be for the WBC Middleweight Championship. Let's talk about this matchup. The last crescendo, the upcoming rematch between Artur Beterbiev and Dmitry Bivol, is going to be one of the biggest fight cards in the history of boxing. And on that undercard will be a middleweight title fight between WBC champion and titleist Carlos Adames as he takes on contender Hamza Sheeraz from the UK. What's great about this opportunity for both men is not only will it be a chance for them to show their wares in a high-profile event, but also position themselves for the consideration of ring champion at middleweight. You see, the luster of becoming a ring champion has become prominent again in the sport of boxing due to Turki Al-Sheikh. So when you have Adames, who's coming into this bout as the WBC titleist, and his record, which is presently 24-1 with 18 KOs, taking on Sheeraz, who's 21-0 with 17 KOs, the two men have a lot to prove, yet and still, for Adames, who won his title and defended against Terrell Gausha, he's going to have to turn away a true challenger in Sheeraz. Sheeraz's last fight was against Tyler Denny, but it was his fight against Austin Williams in June of 2024 that gave him the confidence to realize that he did belong on the world stage. You could see his confidence growing in that fight, and as he began to overcome Williams, that's when Sheeraz really came into his own. Sometimes for certain fighters, it happens in one fight. Now in the case of Adames, he's been out there, but he's been avoided by some of the top fighters for various reasons, including Jermall Charlo, who at one time was the champion, but due to out-of-the-ring circumstances, he had to let the title go. But with fights against Julian J. Rock Williams and Juan Macias Montiel, we've seen Adames compete at a high level. So this is going to be a true test for him. And when you talk about facing a fighter of the sorts that Sheeraz brings, Sheeraz is 6'3" with a 75-inch reach, quite rangy for a middleweight. And Adames, who's not a small middleweight, but is only 5'11" with a 73-inch reach, is going to prove to be a test for Adames to get on the inside of Sheeraz's rangy jab, and the fact that he does know how to box from distance, but beware because he has a few surprises up his sleeves. Now Adames can overwhelm with volume and strength, trying to come in and wade with power shots, but I do believe that Sheeraz is capable of handling that, especially when the fight with Ammo Williams brought him to some circumstances where he had to deal with that somewhat and was able to take his challenger apart in that scenario. But the surprise that Sheeraz has is, for the guy that has the height and reach like he does, he fights well on the inside. He knows the proper shots to throw, the uppercuts and hooks on the inside, the body shots on the inside, short shots on the inside. And that's where he may have the edge over Adames, because Sheeraz not only can box from range, but he fights well in close and within mid-range. So I expect this to be quite a test for both men in this situation. And though Adames has had the opportunity to train with top fighters in the gym, sparring with the likes of Terrence Bud Crawford, Hamza Sheeraz presents an entirely different picture. And there's something about the look in Sheeraz's eyes that I've seen before in guys who are hungry for that next level. Adames could win this, but it would not be easy. So at the end of the day, I think he's gonna give a wholehearted effort. But I'm seeing an upset here. And it is an upset because Sheeraz is the challenger. I believe that Hamza Sheeraz is going to stop Carlos Adames. There is something about Sheeraz who has great ability to adjust, and he's a heads-up fighter. Just because he's out of the UK and people are not aware of him doesn't mean that this man isn't capable. I've been keeping a close eye on him, and he's very formidable with his size, reach, ring smarts, and drive in the middleweight division. He is definitely one to be aware of and keep your eye out for. Adames better be ready. This is Stormy B Man. Shout out to the mighty LDVC and Liberated Perspective, third eye view of the world. For more content such as this, please like, comment, subscribe, and share.